So investigating 1.3. Within investigating 1.3, you demonstrate excellent research skills. Building on from your reflection and explanation of your prior learning and subject-specific knowledge, begin to think about just what further knowledge and skills you need in order to achieve your community project goal. In your process journals, you can draw the following table that provides a scaffold for how you can outline just what you know and what you need to know in order to go forward. So the first column, what knowledge do I or we already have of how to achieve my or our community project goal? Second column, what knowledge do I or we need in order to achieve my or our community project goal? And the last column, how can I or we find this information? Where can I or we find this information? And who can guide me or us in the search for new knowledge? Looking at skills, so what skills do I or we already have of how to achieve my or our community project goal? What skills do I or we need to gain in order to achieve my or our community project goal? How can I or we find information on how to develop these skills? Where can I or we find support and coaching? And who is an expert who can coach me or us in the skills that I or we need to acquire? From the knowledge and skills column that you need to acquire, to the middle column, in order to successfully achieve your community project goal, convert these into inquiry questions that can guide your research. Document your inquiry questions in your process journal and ensure that they have direct relevance to achieving your community project goal. As you progress throughout the community project inquiry cycle, you'll find that many other inquiry questions arise. Continue to add these questions as you progress. Quality inquiry questions are essential for quality research. So research is about connecting with sources in order to gather specific information. Make sure you gather information from both primary and secondary sources. Employing your communication and social skills, take risks, and connect with primary sources in the community. There is a wealth of knowledge and skills to be gained beyond our classroom walls. Our teacher librarian is the college research guru. Book a time with the library team so they can support you in your research. The help will be superb. Remember to be principled, and in all of your interactions be respectful, and ensure that all who you interact with are treated with dignity. So research is a continual process throughout the community project. You will find as you work towards achieving your community project goal that research is an essential element of each section of the community project inquiry cycle. When engaging in research for the community project, you need to focus on the following skills: summarizing information, analyzing information, transferring information, and practicing academic honesty. To help you with this process, you can create the following scaffold in your process journal, or you can choose a different approach. It's entirely up to you. You can place your inquiry question at the top, so you'll have multiple scaffolds of these as you begin to research. The name of the source that you're currently analysing and using as a research source, the location of the URL, the date that you've accessed this, and a summary of the notes. Dot points of key findings from the source of information that answer your inquiry question. You then look at the currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, purpose, and how you can transfer this information to your community project. So within currency, we respond to the questions: when was the information published or posted? Has the information been changed or updated? And does your community project goal require current information, or will older sources work just as well? Within relevancy, does the information in the source relate directly to your community project goal and sufficiently answer this inquiry question? And who is the intended audience? Authority, who is the author or publisher of this source? Is the author or publisher qualified to share information on this topic? If this is a website, does the URL reveal anything about the author or source, for example, .gov.org, etc.? Accuracy. Is the information in the source supported by evidence? Has the author provided references? Is the information unbiased and free of emotion? Are there spelling and punctuation errors? And the purpose. What or who is the author, publisher's purpose for sharing this information? Is it to sell, teach, inform, entertain, or persuade? Is the information factual, opinion, or propaganda? Are there cultural, political, religious, or personal biases? Then for transfer, how will you transfer or employ this information in order to achieve your community project goal? It is a really good idea to create your bibliography continuously as you progress through your community project, so you can accurately acknowledge sources you have used. Remember to order your bibliography in an alphabetical order and follow the correct Harvard-style process we use at Good Lutheran College. So when referencing a book, we start with the author's last name and first initial, followed by the date of publication. The title is in italics. We then have the publisher's name and location. When referencing a website, in this case, the author is an organisation rather than a person. We put the organisation's name and the year it's published. The title of the web page is in italics. We have the publishing body, the date you access the site, and the URL of the website enclosed in angle brackets, so no underline. When referencing a website where the person is the author, we have the name, the date, the title in italics, the date you've accessed, and then the actual website with those angle brackets. When referencing an online newspaper article, we have the author's last name, first initial, and the year. We have the title of the article, the publication medium, and when it was published, the date that you've accessed this, and then the URL. When referencing a YouTube clip, you have the title, the author of the YouTube clip, the year it's published, the title, the format, so it's a video, the date that you've accessed it, and then once again the URL in those angle brackets. Enjoy the process of research. Make your research and analysis clearly visible in your process journal, and enjoy making new discoveries and mastering new skills. At this point, you should book a meeting with your supervisor to share your work with them. Take feedback on board and discuss your ideas in order to gather further clarity. Make sure you document your meeting with your supervisor and record this in your process journal.